I'll start my speech in three, two, one. Panels, imagine a world where you can share your happiness with your friend. When they are sad, when they are mad, you can share your happiness, you can share your joy. Therefore, improving their life, improving their happiness, improving cheering them up. And that is why panels, as proposition, we strongly believe that this house prefers a world where human emotions, such as happiness, sadness, or pain, or even fear, can be transferred to others. Why? Because of two main reasons. A, increasing emotional empathy towards other, and then B, justice and moral responsibility. Before that, let me start with my 3 points of characterization on the status quo. A, status quo, B, characterizing, and C, disclaimers. Panels. We live in a world where emotions are subjective. It is private to one person. When I'm sad does not mean my friend is sad. When I am happy does not mean my friend is happy. We don't all have the same emotion. If we do, that means that we are robots. And that is why we rely on communication and body language to understand each other better. But the thing is, communication using words has its limits. We have a hard time understanding people because, well, the thing is, people can lie and words cannot really be trusted. We have a hard time understanding other people. And that is why empathy also has limit. I'm a strong believer that, for example, if I'm not experiencing something, I cannot feel that emotion 100%. For example, my friend goes through a natural disaster. She lost her house. Well, yes, I feel bad, but only to a certain point because I wasn't the one experiencing it. So I can't really I can't really understand what she is feeling because I'm not the one feeling it, right? So no experience equals to no real feeling. Emotional burdens such as trauma or self-harm thoughts or suicidal thoughts remain personal because the thing is we can't really just share these type of thinking because first of all it is perceived as a weakness, and we can't really tell people that, oh, I'm suicidal. What will they think about it? What will they think of us? And it feels that as if no one understands your pain, therefore people cannot help you. Example, in some cases of depressions, some things you just cannot explain through words. You really need people to feel what you are feeling, what you are struggling, what you are going through, for them to understand you, your feeling. And it is hard, really hard to communicate your feeling. And why am I talking about this? Because firstly, this can be a big issue. This is actually a really big issue. First of all, because suicide number is going up and social emotional supports remain uneven. Okay, let me give you an example. For example, you feel depressed, but you live in a city, a modern city, where you can just easily go to a therapist or you can easily go to a psychologist, so you can talk about your feelings, them giving you proper medicine, proper solutions. But what if you are feeling depressed, you are feeling really suicidal, but you live in for example, a remote city where psychologist doesn't even exist yet, therapy doesn't exist? What will you do? Who will you talk to? You can't really find someone that you can, for example, talk and then they will give you solutions. And even if you can find a psychologist, they can't really understand your feelings completely because, as I've said before, feelings are subjective to one person. It is private. Now, understanding human emotion through words and body language has its limit. It's hard to understand other people. And through emotional transfer, we can then understand, for example, why psychopaths kill people, why they act the way they do. As of right now, we only have speculations, for example, why Jeffrey Dahmer kills people. We only have speculation. We can't really understand why he's doing this. What is his reason behind it? And we can also understand why corruptors, for example, do corruption, or why criminals do certain things, do bad things. Onto my characterizing. Transferring emotion is beneficial for all. It's good. It's an act of kindness, okay? When you feel happy, others should feel happy too. For example, you win a first place in a competition. Your opponent got second or third place. Okay, from personal experience, when you get second or third, you actually feel a bit disappointed because you're only gonna be thinking like, oh, I could have done better. I could have gotten first. But the thing is, if you got first, for example, if I got first and I can share my happiness, the second or third winner can also feel happy. They won't really feel disappointed. They will also share my joy, share my happiness. On to my disclaimer. When we say that we want emotional transfer to be possible, it does not mean that it is an invasion of a human's privacy, of a person's privacy. A, emotional transfer will only happen under consent, but B, with the exception for criminals. This is for restorative justice purposes, which I will explain in a little bit. Too often people reach out for help, but cannot communicate their feelings, and feels that it is better for them to just simply give up. And with emotional transfer, people can then be helped, therefore preventing any trauma, any depression happening from bubbling up, and therefore preventing suicide or death. Panels. We perceive this as a proposal debate, and that is why, as proposition, we will have to prove to you why emotional transfer should exist and show that it is beneficial for all. And the opposition team would have to prove to you where a world without emotional transfer is the better world. Now, there are two actors in this debate: us, human beings, as the sender and the receiver of these emotion and feelings, and then B, the supporters, or what we call the supporters, which is the mental health professionals such as psychologists or the government bodies. These people are here to make sure that there will be zero misconducts through this method. Onto my arguments. A. Increasing emotional empathy towards other. Through emotional transfer, people can understand other people better. They can understand their pain, their suffering, their happiness more than just through words. And this will lead to a genuine feeling of empathy, as I've said before. And this will also reduce stereotypes and taboos and racism. And it will strengthen the bonds of our species, not just me and my friend or me and my family, but all of us as human beings. It will strengthen our bonds. For example, a therapist can give better suggestion, give better medicine if they know what their personal issue of the patient's personal issue is. Or a family and friend can help prevent suicide for high risk people. Too often our emotions get dismissed, perceived as weakness. But fact is, if we don't get proper help, it will get worse. Therefore, when it gets worse, to a certain point, we will go to suicide. And through this motion, our parents, our close ones, can understand our struggles. It shows that it shows people that you are not alone, that you have people that can understand you and is willing to help you. Second argument, morally justice responsibility. Emotional transfer can be used for law enforcing, for restorative justice. So, for example, a criminal going to jail isn't enough. They need to feel what we feel. They need to feel our pain, the victim's pain. They need to feel our fear, the victim's fear. If the victims do decide to share it, because as I've said before, this will only happen under proper consent. And okay, B, this offers a non-violent punishment that is equally effective, that equally works. For example, in the modern world that we have, mental health issues are on the rise, but audiences just don't get it. Sometimes a victim just wants its abuser or offender to feel what they felt, the pain, the fear, the horribleness. When offender feel this, maybe then they will finally understand and they will learn their lesson and they will not repeat it. They will choose to become a better person. Restorative justice will eliminate violence as a way of punishment. Now, moving on to my counterfactuals. The opposition team might say that this invades a person's privacy. Response panels. A. We've said before, emotional transfer will only happen with proper consent. And B. Wouldn't it just feel better if when people understands you're feeling more? If, for example, a criminal understands your fear, if you decide to share your experience, your trauma with the criminal, wouldn't they just, for example, they became a better person from understanding, oh my, that's what I make people feel? Maybe I should stop doing it. That's maybe what they're thinking. And then, secondly, the opposition team might also say that true connection only comes from communication and not through telepathic emotional sharing, emotional transfer. A, true. We agree with that. We completely agree with that. But emotional transfer offers a way to get understanding of someone's emotion in a deeper way, in a deeper level. And then B, we never said that we were going to eliminate communication. We just said that emotional transfer offers a second way to understand someone's more. The world would be a much better place if we understood each other's feelings better. And that is why we are proud to be proposition side that believes an emotional transfer should exist in this world. Thank you.